Thea Stilton. Mouseford Academy. Mice on the Runway. The sounds of spring. Spring had officially sprung at Mouseford Academy. Sparrows chirped happily in the warm sun of the Academy's garden. Flowers and trees hung heavy with colorful blossoms. Inside the Academy's walls, Mouseford students wished they could be out enjoying the beautiful day. Instead, they were waiting for Professor Marblemouse's communications class to start. While they waited, they began a strange concert of sorts. One mouselet started tapping his paw on his desk. After a few seconds, someone else thumped her paw on the floor. Finally, two others started clicking their pens. Slowly but surely the rhythm became increasingly loud. They sounded pretty good. The concert only stopped when Professor Marblemouse finally entered the room. Spring fever or not, class must go on. Everyone sank into a nervous silence as they waited to find out what they would have to do for their midterm. Professor Marblemouse was known for her unusual tests. She wanted her students to think creatively and be active in the Mouseford community. No multiple-choice questions were allowed. Instead, her midterms usually required the mouselets to take on a project that would somehow improve their educational experience. The Mouseford Ratted Station had come out of one of Professor Marblemouse's assignments. Throughout the year, students took turns hosting radio shows. Some students made playlists of their favorite music. A small group even performed live music on the air once a week. Professor Marblemouse clapped her paws together in excitement. "Are you ready for your midterm assignment? I have thought long and hard about the best way to test your communication skills this semester." She looked out at the sea of trembling whiskers and laughed. "You all look like you've seen a cat. Don't worry. This is going to be a chance for you to get out in the real world and have some fun." The students visibly relaxed. They hoped she was right about this being a fun midterm. "Here is your challenge," the professor said. "I would like you all to design a special event that will take place at Mouseford Academy 2 weeks from today." Then she explained the assignment in detail. Each student had to submit an event proposal. They needed to explain why it would benefit the Mouseford community. They also had to describe how they would organize it. Professor Marblemouse would choose the best proposal, and then all the students would work together to carry it out. May the best event win. The Thea sisters were so full of ideas that they wasted no time getting together. That afternoon, they all met in Nikki and Paulina's room to plan. By brainstorming coming through. As a group, they were sure that one of them would come up with the winning idea. "This is so exciting!" Pamela exclaimed as she dropped a whole stack of motorial stunt magazines on Nikki's bed. "I know," Nikki agreed. "Do you think the headmaster would give me permission to set up a motorcycle stunt course in the Academy's courtyard?" Pamela asked. She had decided to present a Mousetacular professional motorial stunt exhibition for her project. "I don't know," Violet said, amused, "but I want to be there when you ask." Violet went back to writing her proposal. She wanted Mouseford to host a benefit concert with musicians from around the world. The school could then donate the proceeds to a charity that all the students voted on. Across the room, Nikki and Paulina were hunched over a laptop. They had gotten permission to work as a team on a photography exhibit. "If our project is chosen, we could ask the headmaster to lend us the beautiful photo he took in that Mexican village with his old students," Paulina said. "That's a terrific idea," Nikki exclaimed. "And then we could ask Colette to lend us." "Hey, wait a second," Nikki interrupted. She looked around, confused. What happened to Colette? Colette's closet. "You know how Colette is," Paulina said. "She probably put on a face mask and lost track of time." The girls decided to go check on her. When they arrived at their friend's door, they heard music and applause coming from inside. The girls knocked, but Colette didn't answer. Paulina shrugged and pushed open the door. Colette was there, but she was so engrossed in watching a video on her computer that she hadn't heard the other mouselets come in. "Hey, Colette!" Nikki said as she entered the room. "Did you forget that we were supposed to meet in my room?" "No," Colette said, not taking her eyes off the screen. "You just decided to work in here?" Violet asked. Colette said, making a note on a paper next to her. The sisters exchanged confused looks. "Hey, Colette," Pamela said, trying to get her attention. "I was thinking of wearing green plaid pants and a light blue striped shirt tomorrow. Does that match?" Sure," Colette responded without looking up. "There is definitely something wrong here," Paulina said. Usually Colette would be horrified by that outfit. The four mouselets approached their friend and glanced at her computer screen. Colette's attention was consumed by a fashion show. It was no secret that fashion was Colette's true passion. She had even started a fashion blog where she posted photos, gave advice, and described new trends. It was called Colette's Closet, and it already had a ton of loyal followers. Fashion-forward mice commented all the time and were always eager to read her new posts. When Professor Marblemouse gave the class the assignment, Colette knew immediately what kind of event she wanted to plan. This would be the perfect opportunity to put her fashion expertise to the test in the real world. Nikki immediately knew what Colette had in mind for her proposal. She winked at the other Thea sisters. "I have a feeling that someone will be presenting a fashion show for her project." "What?" Colette flinched. "But that's my idea." "Who else said they were doing that?" "Well," Paulina joked, "she's blonde." "She has a passion for pink," Nikki added. "And she owns at least 30 bottles of shampoo, conditioner, and fur gel," Pamela finished. Colette's worried expression disappeared, and a huge smile took its place. "You described her perfectly, but you forgot the most important thing. She has 4 amazing friends who are about to give her a hug." The 5 mouselets threw their paws around one another. "What can we do to help you with your proposal, Coco?" Violet asked. "I'm almost finished with mine, so I have some free time." "Us, too," Nikki chimed in. "Maybe Paulina and I can help you figure out where the photographers will stand during the show so they can get the best shots." "Thanks so much," Colette replied. "I don't know what I would do without my sisters. You mice are the best." The big winner. The next day, the communications students gathered in Professor Marblemouse's classroom and anxiously waited to present their event proposals. Each mouse had worked very hard, and they were all eager to share their ideas with the class. Ruby was the first to present her event. She proposed that Mouseford Academy host a luxury cosmetics convention. Visitors to Mouseford could learn about cutting-edge products. Then expert makeup artists from her mother's company, Flashyfur Enterprises, would give free makeovers. Then it was Craig's turn. He bounded to the front of the room to present his idea. A soccer tournament. Teams made up of students and former students from Mouseford Academy would compete against one another to raise money for a local charity. Shin wanted to host an event for science fiction fans. Students could meet famous writers and actors. Colette was nervous about presenting her idea, but she thought it went well. Professor Marblemouse nodded several times while she was talking. When everyone had completed their presentations, Professor Marblemouse retired to her office to make her final decision. "The choice won't be easy," Nikki said. "I know," Colette added. Everyone had such mouserific ideas. I don't know which one I would pick. Nikki, Violet, Pam, and Paulina were secretly hoping that Colette's fashion show would be the winning project. The Thea sisters were very pyrrhuic of the presentation Colette had done. The mouselets suddenly fell silent as Professor Marble Mouse opened the classroom door. Whose event would she choose? Mouseford, she began, thank you all for coming up with such rat-tastic ideas. You made my job very difficult this year. But in the end, we can only put on one event. I'm proud to announce that Mouseford Academy will soon hold its very own fashion show. Congratulations, Colette. Passion for fashion. Colette couldn't believe her idea had won. She was excited and stressed. In need to hurry to many things to do. Colette exclaimed in a hurry. Don't be a worry rat. Violet said. We're all here to help you. Take a nice deep breath. Think about your favorite cheddar muffins. You're right, Colette said. She closed her eyes and inhaled deeply. That's better, right? Violet asked. Colette nodded. Yes, that's better, but in need to hurry to many things to do. That afternoon, Colette dove snout first into organizing the show. Planning a fashion show was no joke, especially in the short amount of time they had to get everything ready. Colette had already scheduled her first team meeting. There was not a moment to lose. The first order of business was turning Professor Marble Mouse's classroom into fashion show headquarters. The students rearranged the desks and brought in some computers to make it look like a real office. Now their work could begin. The invitations. We need to make the invitations and send them out. Don't worry, Colette. I'll handle those. Tanya volunteered. Colette nodded. And we need to get the runway set up in the auditorium. She was starting to look panicked. Luckily, the Thea sisters were quick to reassure her. We're all here to help you. Pamela said. Your project is now our project. She's right, Paulina said. Stay calm. I already have a Fabumouse plan for the fashion show's lighting. I'll handle the music. Violet offered. And I will gather a group of mice to build the runway. Pamela said. Turning around, she continued, and you, Nikki? Maybe you could. Oh no. Nikki interrupted, shaking her head. I won't have time to help behind the scenes. Her sisters looked stunned. Nikki grinned. I won't have time to help behind the scenes, because I'm going to be one of the designers. The Thea sisters laughed. Of course! What would a fashion show be without any fashion? Designers to the rescue! The next morning, the Thea sisters set up a desk to register participants for Colette's fashion show. A line of aspiring designers quickly assembled in front of them. Nikki had been the first mouselet to volunteer as a designer for Colette's show, but there were lots of other students who also wanted to take part. Each student would design an original piece and model it for the runway show. Colette was putting together a judging panel to award the prize for the best designer. Even Ruby wanted to take part, though she still thought her cosmetics convention was a better idea. Do you know what kind of outfit you want to design for the show? Alicia asked. Alicia wasn't planning to design anything herself. Ruby had just wanted company while she waited to sign up. No, of course not. Ruby responded. But the designer who is making my outfit has already thought about it. She smirked as Alicia's eyes widened. Two students who were thrilled about the upcoming fashion show were waiting a little farther down the line. Ron and Tanya had discovered that fashion was one of their many shared interests. While in line, they had thought up a Marv Mouse idea. Can we register as a team of designers? Tanya asked. Of course you can. Paulina responded. Great, Ron said. Our design team's name is R&T. And we will design the most mouserific outfit you've ever seen. The two of them began to brainstorm ideas as they stood right there at the registration table. Maybe we could make a dress from eco-friendly fabrics, Tanya suggested. Fabumouse idea, Ron said. We'll combine environmentalism with elegance. Cheese and crackers, Pam exclaimed. You mice are full of ideas. Which of you will be modeling the final outfit? I will, Ron cried. I will, Tanya said at the exact same time. Pam and Violet exchanged worried glances. Don't give up. Near the back of the line, the Thea sisters' friend Ellie waited anxiously. She had been excited to sign up when registration was announced, but she could feel her courage melting like day-old cheese. Ellie had never designed clothes before, but Colette's fashion show presentation had enchanted her. Like magic, Ellie could see herself strutting down the runway wearing something she'd created. That daydream had moved her so much that she had decided to participate as a designer. It would be so thrilling to create something other mice could actually wear. But all the other mouselets in line seemed to be real fashion experts. Ellie listened to them talk about hemlines and seasons, and suddenly, she felt out of place. Slimy Swiss, what was I thinking? She muttered. Ellie looked sad as she stepped out of line. Pam saw Ellie out of the corner of her eye and jumped up to follow her. Hey, Ellie! Pam asked as she reached her friend in the hallway. Where are you going? I thought you were signing up for the fashion show. I was thinking about it, Ellie murmured, a little embarrassed. But I don't think I'm qualified. Every other mouse in there seems to be some kind of fashion expert. I don't want to embarrass myself. Gooey gorgonzola! Pamela exclaimed with a smile. You don't need to be a fashion expert to have fun. Most of the other mouselets who have signed up are trying fashion design for the first time. You won't be the only beginner, I promise. Really? Ellie asked. Absolutely. This is a new experience for everyone. We're all in it together. Pamela's enthusiasm was so contagious that Ellie immediately felt better. Do you think there's still room on the